Well, welcome back to, a person talking to you guys. I hope over the last 2 days, again, these Bible Project summaries, I think, are great ways for us to get overviews of these biblical books um, because we don't often actually look at that. But knowing what the author or authors, depending on the book, um, were looking to say overall in that big picture message helps us to put these individual pieces in their proper place. It's kind of like, if you're trying to put a jigsaw puzzle together, you want the big picture to know where those individual pieces go, and it just connects so much better. We're in the kind of second half of the book of Isaiah. We're going to deal with 8 chapters over the next 3 days, but today, chapters 40 and 41. Uh, Chapter 40, at the very beginning, just the first kind of few verses, chapter 40, verses 3 to 5, they point to the Messiah. Just want to read these, and some of it will be familiar to you. Listen, it's the voice of someone shouting, clear the way through the wilderness for the Lord. Make a straight highway through the wasteland for our God. Fill in the valleys and level the mountains and hills. Straighten the curves and smooth out the rough places. Then the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all people will see it together. The Lord has spoken. Uh, these are words that multiple gospel authors, Mark, Matthew, Luke, they go, this is, representative, or John the Baptist fulfilled these words in a new way, as Isaiah gave these words 700 years before John the Baptist was even born. These words were spoken kind of over John, even from his birth. I mean, he knew his identity. He knew what he was supposed to do. Um, and here's a question that just kind of comes to my mind from that is, when do you think John the Baptist started preparing for ministry? Was it, you know, when he was 30 years old, or as an, adult, and just, okay, well, no, this is now who I am, and just started? Uh, how did John come to understand this is his identity? I mean, part of it would have been the stories he would have been told by his parents about his birth and what the angels had told them. But he would have been immersed in the scriptures, prayer, just a pattern of listening, trusting, and obeying. You don't just become a prophet. Um, that comes from a foundation that God has built into through our cooperating with listening to him, trusting, and obeying. I mean, John the Baptist's ministry led to opposition, imprisonment, death, because he was the forerunner of the Messiah. And how did he stand up in that? Confidence in his identity. Um, been talking about here at the church, in the month of October, we talked about identity and knowing who we are in Christ. And again, want to remind you to go back to that, to whether it's the bookmarks that we distributed, or going online and just going, who does God say that we are in Christ? Chapter 40 in Isaiah is this amazing portrait of God. And just to list a number of things: God is powerful, a gentle shepherd, creator, wise, holy, incomparable, judge over all. Just there's reason for praise and awe. And maybe today would be good for you to read that chapter and just write down every quality or characteristic of God that you see, and just, what does God say? How does your heart respond to God? In chapter 41, we see God speaking to his people. Um, the word you is used over 20 times. So, like, God saying about you, his covenant people, he's chosen you, he's with you, which is reason not to fear. God holds and protects you. And because of these things and more, God is our redeemer. He is the one who cares and helps. Not like, as Isaiah mentions, not like, as God is saying through Isaiah, not like these idols, these false gods who promise much but deliver nothing. And again, I just want to encourage you, read through chapter 40 today and just make a list of what God is like, and allow that list to provoke you to respond to God in prayer of praise and awe, and listening to him. Now, usually I close each devotional with the benediction, the blessing from Numbers chapter 6. But I just think I gotta close today's devotional with the end of chapter 40. Again, often well-known words for many of us. And God says through Isaiah to his covenant people, have you never heard? Have you never understood? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of all the earth. He never grows weak or weary. No one can measure the depths of his understanding. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Even youths will become weak and tired, and young men will fall in exhaustion. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. When we remind ourselves who God is, we will find ourselves strengthened because we're walking, we're running in his strength, not ours. God bless you today.